Somewhere, right now, two people just received their paychecks. They earned the same amount from similar jobs. In 40 years, one will have millions of dollars while the other will have nothing. The difference won't be luck, intelligence, or inheritance. The difference will be a single mathematical formula that almost nobody understands. This formula is so powerful that Albert Einstein reportedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. Yet most people spend their entire lives ignoring it. Today, you'll discover exactly what this formula is, why it works, and how to use it to turn ordinary income into extraordinary wealth. The exponential growth that linear thinking misses. The first principle is understanding how wealth actually grows. Most people think money grows like a line. Earn money, spend money, save a little, watch it grow slowly and steadily. The reality is that every dollar a 20-year-old invests, if they assume a 10% rate of return compounded monthly, can turn into $88 by the time they reach 65. This is not linear growth. This is exponential growth. The difference between linear and exponential is the difference between being broke and being rich. If you start with $500 at age 20, you might think you would have $2,500 by age 60, growing linearly. But the reality of compounding interest is far more exciting. At age 60, that $500 investment would turn into $26,850, growing at 10%, over 10 times as much as money that grew linearly. This gap widens dramatically the longer you invest. Consider this practical example. If you invest $500 per month from age 25 to 65 at an 8% return, you will have around $1.7 million by 65. You would have contributed just $240,000 of that amount. If you wait until age 35 to start investing the same monthly amount till age 65, you'll end up with only about $745,000. An investor starting at 25 and investing $200 per month until 65, earning 8% annually, accumulates about $698,000. While an investor waiting until 35 and investing the same amount at the same rate accumulates about $298,000, even though both contributed the same monthly amount and achieved the same rate of return. One 10-year delay costs $400,000 in final wealth. The starting point that multiplies everything. Warren Buffett understands this better than anyone. He bought his first stock at age 11 and has been investing for 70 years. The majority of his wealth was accumulated after he turned 65. In 1999, his net worth was just $30 billion, and today it is nearly 5 times greater at about $150 billion. This is the wealth formula in action. Buffett explained his strategy through a simple metaphor. We started with a little snowball on top of a very tall hill. We started at a very early age in rolling the snowball down. And of course, the nature of compound interest is that it behaves like a snowball. The key is starting early. Time is the irreplaceable ingredient. If you start investing $500 at age 20, you might have $1,000 by age 30, $1,500 by age 40, $2,000 by 50, and $2,500 by age 60. But the reality with compound interest at 10% is entirely different. At age 60, that $500 initial investment would turn into $26,850. The first dollar you invest is the most valuable because it has the most time to work for you. The reinvestment cascade that accelerates exponentially. The second principle is reinvesting every penny of gains. Compound interest is the interest you gain on your original investment plus any interest you have already made, and it helps your money grow exponentially when you invest it. But this only works if you reinvest the gains. To benefit from compounding, you have to earn interest, not pay it. And when you reinvest dividends and interest, you take full advantage of compounding. Warren Buffett applied this principle religiously. He earned his first million by running investment partnerships in the 1950s and early 1960s, using value investing principles to buy undervalued companies and compounding returns until he hit the $1 million mark by 1962. He didn't spend that million. He reinvested it. Over 13 years, his partnership compounded investments at an annual rate of 9.5%. Every dollar earned became a seed for generating more dollars. If you invest $1,000 at an 8% annual return and reinvest earnings, after 2 years your investment grows to $1,166.40 from the compounding effect. This snowball accelerates over time. The first year generates $80 in interest. but the second year's $80 generates its own interest. This creates a cascade where your money multiplies exponentially if you never interrupt it. The wealth multiplier that changes everything. The wealth multiplier shows exactly how powerful each dollar invested is. For a 20-year-old investing at a 10% rate of return compounded monthly, each dollar can turn into $88 by age 65. This is absolutely amazing how powerful your dollars can be if you give them enough time to grow. This formula works regardless of how much you start with. It works for $5 investments, $50 investments, or $500 investments. The multiplier compounds the same way. At age 30, the two lines of linear versus exponential growth are in about the same spot. However, by age 60, the difference becomes dramatic, with your $500 investment turning into $26,850 at 10% versus $2,500 with linear thinking. This is why starting young matters more than starting big. You don't need massive capital. You need time. Warren Buffett proves the formula works. Berkshire Hathaway has delivered a compound annual return of around 20% to its shareholders since 1965, roughly double the S&P 500 index's returns over that time. How did this happen? Not through luck, through patient application of the wealth formula. Berkshire stock delivered a compound annual return of 19.7% during Buffett's time as CEO, which would have been enough to turn a mere $500 investment in 1965 into $24.2 million today. If he were starting again today with $10,000, Buffett would focus first on small businesses, because he would be working with smaller sums, and there is more chance that something is overlooked in that arena. This reveals the true power of the formula. It doesn't require billions to start. It requires discipline and time. The automatic system that removes willpower. The third pillar is automating the wealth formula so emotion never interferes. Regular contributions, even small ones, will add up significantly over time, and automating investments ensures you stay disciplined and continue growing your wealth. You don't wait until you feel like investing. You automate contributions so the decision is made automatically. This removes the ability to interrupt compounding when markets feel scary or when you want to spend money. Start early, be consistent by making regular contributions automatically, reinvest earnings. Be patient and avoid withdrawing funds early as this disrupts the compounding process, and take advantage of tax-advantaged accounts like 401k and IRAs that allow your investments to grow tax-free or tax-deferred. When these actions become automatic, they compound reliably across decades. The rule of 72 that shows the timeline. The final principle is understanding how quickly your money doubles. Using the rule of 72, you divide 72 by your annual interest rate to estimate how long it takes for your investment to double. With 7.2% interest, you divide 72 by 7.2, which results in 10 years to double the value. With 9% fixed rate compounding, the value doubles in 8 years. According to the rule of 72, at a 7.2% compounding rate, $50,000 would double 3 times to $400,000 during a 30-year time frame. If given another 10 years to compound, the value would double once more to $800,000. At a 9% compounding rate, the same 40-year time horizon would include a fifth doubling to $1.6 million. This mathematical reality proves that starting early and staying invested long is the entire formula. Buffett didn't become wealthy through brilliant individual stock picks. He built his wealth through discipline, patience, and unwavering commitment to long-term value, investing in businesses he understands with strong fundamentals and reinvesting profits continuously. The proof that anyone can use this formula. The world's wealthiest individuals, including Michael Bloomberg, Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, and Jeff Bezos, began their careers with humble jobs like shoveling snow and flipping burgers. Their stories highlight the resilience, discipline, and vision that propelled them to success. These weren't people born with millions. These were ordinary people who applied the wealth formula for decades. The wealth formula is simple but profound. Start investing as early as possible. Invest consistent amounts automatically, reinvest all gains. Avoid interrupting the compounding process. Stay invested for decades. Compound interest rewards consistency and patience over time. Many people think wealth building requires large salaries or big investments, but compound interest proves that starting early is more important than starting big. If you can implement even one part of this formula today, setting up automatic investments, you've started the process that will create millions. 10 years from now, you'll either be 20% of the way to your wealth goal or you'll be starting from zero. That choice exists right now, in this moment. The mathematics don't lie.